Hello everyone. Today we're talking with Milena Janowska, Project Coordinator of the European EdTech Network. Hello Milena.
Hi Christina, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Tell us about the European EdTech Network. What is that?
So the European EdTech Network is a 3-year project that was awarded by the European Commission grant. We've been working on it for the past 2 years almost. We are right now finally able to share the results that we have. And it's a strategic partnership. It's all within the Erasmus Plus program. And it's a strategic partnership between 4 universities. IE University is the leader of the project. And we have 3 partners that are funding partners, which is UCL, University College London. We have Katholieke Universiteit from Leuven in Belgium and Oulu University of Applied Sciences in Finland. A very good company that we are in. The project is aiming at building a platform where we can bring together all the stakeholders of the European EdTech scene. Very similar networks you can find in the US, you can find them in Asia, but here in Europe we really like working individually in our own countries, at our own universities, in our own labs, and then we really miss opportunities of sharing the experiences, sharing the knowledge. And the same happens when we are talking about innovation and EdTech startups. Especially now, EdTech is becoming more and more popular. And the startups that are growing, they don't really have access to real facts and data. And very often they base their projects on their gut feeling and the image of, well, I've been learning my whole life. I know everything about education. I know how to fix it, which is not really the case very often. And what we are trying to do is to bring together on that platform all the stakeholders, so the universities, teachers, innovators, entrepreneurs. We are trying to bring them together on one platform and allow them to collaborate, to exchange information, to find good practices all across Europe and learn from each other. That's the idea, basically. It already started in September 2018 when we got the grant for the project. And then we needed 3 months to prepare it for the launch, and we launched it in London in June 2019 during London EdTech Week, and also during our first intensive study program organized by University College London at the time.
What have been some of your results during this first year?
First of all, we built the platform, which is our intellectual output of the project. And we are very happy to welcome anybody who would like to join the platform and become the user. On the platform, you can already find people that you can collaborate with. Apart from the collaboration tools, we are focusing very much on publishing articles that are evidence-based or very well-reviewed case studies. So we are looking at these 2 main elements. First are data and evidence and research across Europe that is being made in EdTech, because there's no single space where these kind of results are being published. And second is looking for methodologies and case studies across Europe to show good practices and methodologies that are happening in different countries.
What are your next steps?
We have 1 more year now. The project officially finishes in 2021, but because of the results that we are already having, we are really hoping to get more funds from the European Commission and continue with the project. We see how big impact it has already. Our objective for this last year is, first of all, to grow the network, so to find relevant universities across Europe that would like to join the network and share their results and their case studies with us and actively participate in the network. Also publish as many materials as possible. Within the grant, we have the funds to do it, so we are trying within our institutions especially focus on all the knowledge that we have in the field to bring it to the light and show it to the world. And also we are looking for users to the platform. We hope that the platform will grow. There will be new projects that will be sparked from the usage of the platform.
What were the changes you noticed across the EdTech industry in the last few months?
A few months were very special for the EdTech scene. I've noticed, first of all, that there is much more interest and people started understanding what the word EdTech, because when I first started my career in education, which was many years ago, I graduated from andragogy, which is basically adult education and lifelong learning. And throughout my journey, I didn't know about EdTech myself until a few years ago. I was even working with innovative technologies and I didn't know about the existence of the word EdTech. What's happening now is, first of all, that people are getting more and more familiar with the ecosystem, with the opportunities, with what comes with being part of it. I had an opportunity to interview many people from the world of EdTech in Europe and beyond. And all of them are saying the same thing. When we first started, nobody knew where we will end up right now. people were laughing when we were saying that the courses or the education can be online. Like, who would like to stay at home and learn from their own computer when they can go to the school? Right now, EdTech is not only about learning and teaching, it's also about learning analytics. It's also about the whole administration and infrastructure at universities or at schools. There are so many different elements people get more interested in. So that's the main change that I've noticed. And especially in the past few months, when we realized that we can't live without technology, and that anything can happen, and if we want to continue with what we've been doing, we have to learn how to effectively use technology in our classrooms, how to be prepared for these kind of situations. And also, one more thing that is important for me is how many people we can reach through technology with the content that we offer at different universities or at different schools. Because that's also the big problem that we have, that still many people don't have access to education. There is need to create very individualized education, which is not the case in the majority of systems. When we follow the same kind of systems that have been in place since 60s, and very often not much has changed. Especially now, we are learning at different paces. We need education for different purposes as well. It's no longer about job market only. Sometimes it's also about our own interest, about changing qualifications. As we know, we are no longer living up to 50 or 60 years old. We are talking about 100-year life right now, and it's not linear anymore. There's a need, an urgent need to upskill and reskill. If we once joined one job, it's very unlikely that we will end up working in the same place in the next 20 years. Educational technology right now is the key.
You were mentioning case studies that you are publishing on your platform. Do you have 3 favorite case studies you have learned about during this time you are working on the project?
Favorite ones, that will be difficult to choose from. Of course, I must say about one of my favorites, which is very close to my heart. It's from our own university, from IE, which is the case study of Wow Room. It's a very modern project where you have a huge room, I think with 36 screens in total. So the teacher that is standing there can not only see everybody at the same time, but you have also facial recognition. You can read the emotions of the students. So if somebody's losing the attention, you get the signal that, okay, so let's ask the question to that student, for example. You get a lot of statistics after the session. This one, for sure, the same as all the simulations or the games that we are using at our university during our master's programs, especially. The other one that is very interesting to me, and I think many more people should know about, is the Master in Entrepreneurship, Educational and Entrepreneurship in Finland. It's a case study from our partner, Oulu University of Applied Sciences. And they offer this fully online master degree where you learn about EdTech not only from the theoretical side, so you don't only learn about how the ecosystem works, but you really have contact with practitioners. You participate in many events, for example, like the one organized by our European EdTech Network. ME students are also joining this program to meet from all across Europe that are practitioners that are working with EdTech on a daily basis. And this program is free for all the European students, which is unbelievable to me. And then if you are from outside of the European Union, I think it costs 10,000 euros to join this program. And now the third one, let me think. There are various case studies on smart learning environments. This one is also from Finland, or smart education at schools. This is a project from Belgium. All the case studies that are related to collaboration between universities and businesses and schools. These projects, for me especially, are the most valuable because you no longer talk about education that is detached from the reality. You are talking about education that is deeply implemented into the reality, and you have all the people interested really working on the results. Many of these case studies are deeply focused on collaboration with teachers, and I think this is extremely important when we are talking about education as a whole. No matter if we're talking about educational technology or education without technology, the teacher is the one that we should ask the questions to. Teachers are professionals. They have been studying and they've been working in the field. And I think too often we forget to ask them what they need before we will start giving them all this fantastic technology that they should be using. If you don't understand your customers' needs and you don't know how to get to these needs, then there's nothing that you can, there's no problem that you can solve. And it should be this way around. First, you have to learn how to reach to your potential clients or the users of your technology and how to identify these needs, the ones that are not necessarily visible from the first sight, because many people, they may say that, well, I've been fine for the past 30 years, I have no problems at all. But once you get to the proper interview, then you keep finding out more and more issues, more and more problems that you can really find solutions to, but you have to understand first what the situation, the real situation is.
You were just mentioning the case study with a lot of screens and monitoring facial expressions. This also raises a question about the extent of which we are allowed to use technology so that it doesn't turn into breaching privacy.
Yes, absolutely. And you have to understand how much data students and teachers are happy to share with you. But it's all about a conversation between all the parties, I think. One of the projects that we are part of is Enlightened Conference, which this year will be, for the first time, we'll organize a virtual edition. And I remember I think it was the first edition when we had as a speaker Gerd Leonard, futurist from Switzerland. The key message that always comes from his keynotes is that humanity should go first, then technology. I totally agree with it when it comes to education, especially.
This is a 3-year project, the European EdTech Network. What's going to happen after the project is over?
We don't look at it as the project that has an end, really, because we are saying that the first grant finishes in next year, in August 2021. Looking at what's happening already with it, we definitely see it as an ongoing thing. And first, we are looking at getting more funds to continue with it. We want to grow it more, and we want to keep developing the platform as well, because after the first feedback from the users, we already see how many new elements we can implement that will allow for better collaboration between all the stakeholders. So we definitely want to grow it even more and provide more data to the startups and to the practitioners.
How can someone get involved with European EdTech Network?
There are two ways in which you can get involved. First, on the individual level, you can join the platform, you can create your user account and start connecting individually with all the people that are there on the platform. And the second way is if you are a representative of a university that has an EdTech lab or is actively working on innovative technologies, then European universities can join the network and become official members of EETN. And of course, everybody is very, very welcome to get in touch with us.
You see a lot of things happening and you have contact with a lot of people, a lot of startups and companies. How do you think the future of education will look like in, let's say, 5 years from now?
Difficult question, because if I knew, I would have made my own startup probably and become the next unicorn. I'm sure that we'll keep using more and more technology on a daily basis. It's inevitable and it's not something that we can defend from. I hope that we will use it in a smart way. Looking at how quickly technology develops, I really hope that we will also take time to stop and think before just go ahead and implementing whatever comes our way. Yes, technology will be very important in education, not only in private sector, but in public sector as well. And we are seeing it right now. How many universities decided to go fully online with their next academic courses? How many difficulties people are facing, how many difficulties parents are also facing when having their children at home learning during the past months. In the next years, we have to know how to manage all this potential that we have and how to implement it in a smarter way. And I hope that this is the direction. I'm also hoping for more conversations, more collaboration between all the people involved. And I'm not talking only about collaboration between schools and businesses, but also asking for feedback from the practitioners, from the students, to understand what the needs are and to understand that it's no longer only about job market and education. It's also about developing full potential of each individual, not only about teaching math and languages, but also about developing other skills that are extremely important and we tend to forget about. I'm hoping for a more holistic view.
That's great. Thank you so much for the interview. and good luck.
Thank you so much, Christina.